They're everywhere. Now, there's some rumors, there's some reports, there's some stuff from the Titans. There's not a lot of stuff from the Titans. And there's a whole bunch of stuff all over the place around the Titans. Welcome back to the show. 615-737-1045 is the number. Do you think Mike Vrabel is the coach of the Tennessee Titans in 2024? You can join the discussion. We'd be happy to have you. Titans players meeting with the media right now for locker room cleanout day. Again, no Mike Vrabel media availability scheduled on locker room cleanout day for the first time since he's been here. Notable. Nothing to freak out about yet. Notable. Will Levis, apparently, and there's audio being tweeted out, is voting for continuity. It says him and Mike Vrabel communicate on a regular basis, and that he likes the trajectory that the two have taken together. Not that the rookie quarterback who just got here's vote should count for everything in the world. Of course, he's going to be, down for Mike. Mike is somebody who's easy for football players to get along with. He was a big part of drafting Levis. He really liked Levis, as did Rand Carthon. The organization took a chance on Will Levis after he fell out of the first round. Understandable that Will Levis would be for continuity. What do you think, by the way? You think he should come back? Well, you and I haven't really talked about it that much. We've talked about what is most likely to happen. We haven't necessarily put, our positions on it.
I think the Titans set this up for Mike Vrabel and Rand Carthon to build this thing back up, aligned or collaborated or however you want to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And there will be semantics about who has final say and who doesn't. But if that was what the Titans entered this whole situation with that being the intention of Mike Vrabel and Rand Carthon building this thing back up, then yes, I believe Mike Vrabel should be the head coach of the Titans next year. If that was the plan they came in with, and you had told me this past offseason, 5-12 or 6-11, roster terrible, that would not be reason enough for me to say Mike Vrabel should not be back in 2024. If that's the person that's tasked with rebuilding this thing, it was never going to be rebuilt in 2023.
Because if you change that, well, all that means is that the whole plan that you said that you spent a lot of time putting together and figuring out all the different pieces that needed to collaborate, your plan didn't mean anything because you bailed on your plan very quickly. Now, continuity for the sake of continuity is not a good enough reason to keep an underperforming football coach at this particular time with an underperforming team. They collectively have underperformed. That's everybody. That's Mike. That's Tim Kelly. That's Shane Bowen. That's Andre Dillard. That's Ryan Tannehill. That's everybody. All right? 6 wins. Not the worst. Stinky. Real bad. And listen, you got a divisional win yesterday. You avoided going 0 for 6 in the division. Still bad. I agree with you, though. If I'm to believe you, I take you at your word that this was your plan moving forward, then stick to your plan until such time as it becomes no longer viable. Now, we don't know what's been bubbling. We don't truly know what's been bubbling under the surface that might make this seem a whole hell of a lot less viable than she intended for it to be.
I guess if the intention is to see what a roster and the vision of Mike Vrabel and Rand Carthon looks like, then it doesn't make sense to me to cut ties when the roster is still very much majority John Robinson.
Because I think the worst infraction here would be looking like you don't have a plan, regardless of what direction you choose to go to.
Looking like the Houston Texans from 2018 to or whatever that window was from Culley to now, where they've obviously hit.
They got a quarterback. They got a coach who we think is good. All's right in the world in Houston. Doesn't matter how inept they were before. Winning covers up everything, ladies and gentlemen. It's like money. It's always the answer to all of your questions. Winning and money. So what are the 3 categories? Let's go through this, all right? Let's see if we can suss this out. Where nobody knows anything definitively and everybody just wants to have something to say about it today. Let's do the correct thing here. What are the 3 categories of Mike Vrabel stuff that you want to put out there for people?
Well, we'll call it the 3 categories of smoke.
Of smoke.
Around Mike Vrabel.
Smoke, fire.
And the Tennessee Titans. All of these categories fall under the umbrella of Mike Vrabel not being back next year, right? Because that's where all the smoke has been.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, Mike Vrabel wants out. Who has fallen under that category as far as national media, reporters, whether local or otherwise? I think Greg Bedard was the first one on this, right? To come out and publicly say this.
Mm-hmm.
And we picked it apart, right? Boston Sports Journal, correct?
We thought it was, I won't speak for you, but I thought it was shoddy reporting. I thought there was a lot of stuff that needed specific examples if you were going to do things like cite Mike Vrabel once out or Rand Carthon. There are problems with Rand Carthon's work ethic dating back to his time in San Francisco and just leaving it at that. Just rolling the grenade out there.
It was not work ethic. The word was job performance.
Job performance, okay. Thank you. Important clarification by you.
Who else has fallen under that umbrella in the Mike Vrabel smoke category of he wants out outside of Greg Bedard?
I think that given that he was just on the radio station, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, but does Chad Forbes
most certainly does
fit this category?
Yeah.
He was on with Blaine and Mickey last week.
He was on with Blaine and Mickey last week.
And walked them through that better than Greg Bedard did in his local radio appearance.
Yeah, he tweeted last week that the Vrabel-Carthon partnership was an arranged marriage by Amy Adams Strunk in coordination with the league office. Vrabel wants his guy, and he deserves it. He said Mike Vrabel wants out of Tennessee. Chad Forbes taking to social media and saying that.
Okay.
Who else said this? Jason La Canfora?
Yep. Reported that there was a rift, sticking with the rift category. Jason La Canfora, your favorite Titans or your Titans fan, favorite Titans insider, Jason La Canfora. By the way, the Tennessee Titans are not owned by John Bon Jovi, just for clarification, but we don't need to dredge up old memories here.
And do we throw Dan Graziano under this umbrella? In his exchange on ESPN, written exchange with Jeremy Fowler, where they're addressing certain rumors around the league, Graziano said, that one is always sort of out there in the ether, talking about the Vrabel rumors about whether the Titans would entertain a trade, if he wants to be back next year, if he wants to change. Graziano said, who, by the way, was here yesterday, was in the press box.
In the press box.
He said, I don't have any hard intel on it, but there are people who speculate that Vrabel could, at some point, want to try it somewhere else. Was in Foxborough earlier this season if the New England job does come open. He says a lot of people are going to want to connect Vrabel with that job. I don't think Tennessee has any intention of letting him go, but if, hypothetically, he went to the Titans and said he wanted to go, yeah, I could see them working out a trade. So Dan Graziano, this was last week on ESPN.com.
How are we qualifying hypotheticals?
Right.
Because Adam Schefter fits that same category. Sources around the league on Mike Vrabel's status was the tweet. Not, sources in Tennessee. Not definitively Mike Vrabel wants out, sources say. Sources around the league wonder how happy Mike Vrabel is with his current situation.
Sources are speculating.
I mean, okay. Can I say, and listen, I don't know Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter is the go-to NFL insider, definitively. He has earned that right. But you know what the ESPN thing with at least Schefter, I don't know about Graziano. Tehran can't do the job right now. They don't have it. They have a coach in the NFL who people are interested in all over the place. There is no current ESPN reporter on the beat for the Tennessee Titans because of Tehran Davenport's unfortunate situation. By the way, I've been talking to Tehran a lot. I know he's working to get better and all these different things. That's neither here nor there. But there is no ESPN reporter on the Tennessee Titans beat right now. So somebody at the network has to give us something on Mike Vrabel. Black Monday's right around the corner. We can't not include Mike Vrabel if he ends up being the head coach of the Patriots and nobody was around it. Somebody say something credible about Vrabel. And so that is the genesis of that Schefter tweet.
And finally, Jordan Schultz of Bleacher Report, who tweeted this morning as the Titans weigh Mike Vrabel's future this week, he is interested in the idea of returning to the Patriots should New England part ways with Bill Belichick.
Now, does that fit once out? That says, hey, if I get moved here, sure. The other job doesn't sound so bad.
Maybe not.
Well, I don't think so.
Maybe the category of Vrabel wants out goes hand in hand with category number 2, which is that New England will do everything in their power to make Mike Vrabel the next head coach of the Patriots. that Robert Kraft has his guy, and it's Mike Vrabel, and he'll stop at nothing to
So
go
that's
get it.
category number 2.
Yes, and I think that there is some crossover there with category number 1,
Agreed.
like the Jordan Schultz tweet this morning. Where else have we heard that?
Well, Ben Volin.
Yeah.
The November 5th, Ben Volin of the Boston Globe. I will read you the excerpt. This was after Mike Vrabel visited with the New England Patriots on the Titans bye week for his Ring of Honor or what Patriots Hall of Fame. Forgive me, I don't know the exact distinction. But after Mike Vrabel had visited for his red jacket ceremony with the Patriots alongside some other teammates and coaches, according to Ben Volin of the Boston Globe, Vrabel is believed to be the home run choice, that's a quote, home run choice of Bob Kraft to replace Bill Belichick at the end of the season. 2 sources, and this is, again, important because these are not Patriot sources. 2 sources close to the Patriots. All right? 2 sources close to the Patriots have independently said the same thing. They believe Vrabel, currently the Titans coach, is the Kraft's home run choice to succeed Belichick. That fits the category of Kraft wants him. And that's the first one of these out there.
Right.
Anywhere.
Category number 3. That Mike Vrabel could get fired by the Tennessee Titans. This has had the least amount of noise.
Until yesterday.
Now, who did that come from yesterday?
Everybody who had something to say. Nobody said definitively anything about firing Mike Vrabel, but all the little like high school hallways scuttlebutt type of stuff all over the press box, all over the stadium, all over anybody you talk to. I think they can make a move today. Okay, based on what? What are we talking about here?
Which ultimately is
credibly putting their name on they have interest in firing Mike Vrabel. Here's the thing that I know. They didn't have a decision as of Saturday. What they went into Sunday, talking about Amy and the ownership group, how they went into Sunday, how they're handling it after the win, how much of this is all very fluid. All I know is it felt like Mike Mularkey, where all these rumors are all over the place because somebody let something leak, whether that's intentionally, to see how it lands on people, to see what gains traction, because that's real, or because it actually leaked genuinely and there's real noise around it. All I know is that it was like passing notes in class all over the press box yesterday because everybody had something to say about it. This was Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network earlier this morning talking about Mike Vrabel and the relationship with Rand Carthon.
We are also watching the status of Mike Vrabel, the Tennessee Titans head coach. He's going to meet with ownership at some point, probably today. And we'll see what this means about his future. There's going to be some hard questions. There's going to be some hard discussions. We do not know how it is going to end. I think it's fair to say it is uncertain whether or not Vrabel will be the head coach going forward.
Uncertain. But that's not saying by trade. That's not saying by firing, just that he's uncertain. You know the closest person to get to Mike Vrabel being fired? Jay Glazer. And I didn't see it. I got sent the clip. Jay Glazer, who I think is as thorough a reporter as any of the major insiders that we have, and that he doesn't do it on Twitter, I respect more. He saves it for the Fox pregame show. He put Mike Vrabel on the bubble of being fired yesterday. That's as close as anybody credible has gotten to Mike Vrabel fired by the team. So I'm going to put Glazer in that category because I think that bears noting. A lot of this stuff just feels like it's being regurgitated from November the 5th, doesn't it? That people are, Black Monday is here. Mike Vrabel, it's been a bad season. There's a lot of things wrong. Is he a part of the problem? How much has he helped? How much has he exacerbated the problem? Only the people responsible for his job status can answer that question. But what is the commonality between once out, Kraft wants his guy, and fired? Are there any commonalities between some of this stuff? Because I think once out and Kraft wants him, that bleeds together. A lot of it is New England predicated. Volin, Bedard, Lockenfora is national, Schefter is national, Graziano is national.
And that's where by far the most noise has been that Mike Vrabel wants out
Loud.
and that he is Bob Kraft's guy.
Well, that Kraft wants him has been louder, and that the Vrabel wants out stuff has kind of dovetailed off of that from a lot of these people. Worth paying attention to. This was Mike Vrabel when asked the question last week, what category does this fit under?
No, I don't. I don't, because, again, if we believed everything that was on social media, it'd be in the tooth and all that. So I really have never responded to any of those, and we're not going to start now. I know where we're at as an organization. I'm excited to build this thing and to fix this thing and get it to where we want it to be, to win championships with Ran and Chad and A-Rob and a coaching staff and everybody. I mean, that's what our goal is. So, but no, the social media and where that is, and I can't focus on that.
So you want to be here next year?
Of course I want to be here. Be here as long as we can win, and long as we can, do this thing. And it's been great, but it also has been, just frustrating this year. Nobody wants to be where we're at. You feel, for the players, having been in that situation, those guys are out there selling out, and you feel for them when you look out there on the field, and we're not winning, or it's pretty obvious. But the one thing that allows me to at least sleep at night is when the games, we had a clunker in Jacksonville and in Houston, and we're out there fighting, not letting them run through us for 40, 50 yards and all that. And I know that there's no moral victories, and that's not a moral victory, but it's just a lot of times in those situations you can just pack it up and pack it in, and so that's that was last week. This week we have to be in a different situation. Talked about the ability to put ourselves in that competitive situation, where the game has some flow to it, and you make a play, you get a turnover, right? You pin them down, and you start playing complementary. So I talked to the team again, about that, and about eliminating, some of the mistakes, that are just, that come at critical times, and that make it tough to overcome.
Of course, I want to be here as long as we can win. That's not a throwaway line. Make sure you pay attention to it. So where does he fit in this category? Because, Lucas, I think 3 categories does not do this discussion justice. We haven't talked about Diana. Like we opened with it, but we haven't talked about Diana 6 weeks ago. He's their guy, Ready, Steady, Vrabel. That's the only one standing on it. She put out an insider's column, as they all did yesterday, on Saturday. Vrabel wasn't even mentioned in it. And I've since talked to her. She's we'll get her on the radio show at some point this week. Today's not the best day for an NFL insider to join the radio show. We're understanding of that. But that she's the one 6 weeks ago. No, 6 weeks ago, a long time. A lot changes in 6 weeks ago. Are we willing to put a category out there? He's their guy. A 4th. Because Diana, I think, is Diana and Vrabel the only ones standing in that category. I'm writing these down. Then there's something from Mike Sando. What do you got from Mike Sando of The Athletic? Who, by the way, we'll have on at some point here in the next couple weeks, too.
His pick 6 that he does weekly with intel from NFL executives and personnel people across the league. He's going through all the various coaching changes and interest for the Chargers and Raiders and such. Then the bullet point, Vrabel to the Patriots. He says lots of moving parts here. New England seemed to be grooming Gerard Mayo as Belichick's replacement, and that could still be the case. But if Vrabel becomes available, as many in the league think he could, he would be a logical consideration as a beloved Patriots alumnus. This quote from an anonymous exec, Vrabel wants to win the same way Bill wins, with defense and detailed play on special teams. The difference is Vrabel has built playoff teams and won playoff games with a mid-tier quarterback in Ryan Tannehill. What do you think about that quote? That Vrabel has built playoff teams and won playoff games with a mid-tier quarterback.
That Mike Vrabel, man, there's not a lot that sticks to this guy. To his credit, I wish I had it as easy as Mike Vrabel seems to do optically. And by the way, he's earned a lot of that, but Mike Vrabel did not build a playoff team. Mike Vrabel got dropped onto one. John Robinson built a playoff team. John Robinson in two parts. Bad J-Rob, good J-Rob. Good J-Rob put them back together. Good J-Rob's rosters got them to, 6 consecutive winning seasons before the bottom fell out last year. And they, when he was fired, they were in the midst of their 7th.
And hey, Mike Mularkey's a part of that too.
Well, that's right.
Sando continues, national speculation about Vrabel possibly wanting out of Tennessee has met resistance from reporters covering the team. But the conversation has persisted. Execs see Vrabel as frustrated and saddled with an aging roster in a division featuring lots of young talent on the other 3 teams. This quote from a former AFC South executive, I think it totally makes sense. I think he wants more power. There are going to be some tough discussions, and if he doesn't get what he wants, then look out. That is my opinion.
So you take that in parts. And then there's Breer, who fits under the category. So that all goes under Kraft wants his guy, too, I think. That's more Mike wants the Patriots. But we'll talk about what's going on with Bill Belichick because there's been a lot of noise around that, obviously. Your phone calls are welcome. 615-737-1045 is the number. Somebody just in the chat said somebody tell Amy that she fired the wrong guy. That's the first person to say that in the last calendar year. You guys are out of your damn minds. You just want blood. You're terrible. I'm Buck Rising. It's 1045 The Sun.